Hey guys, and welcome to another Was It Work video. So today we're going to be reviewing One Piece, the recent live action series on Netflix. I'm going to be running it through my usual 5 criteria and determining just exactly how woke was it. Just going to dive right in. And so the first criteria, number 1, is racial diversity. So with this show, there was definitely a fair amount of diversity throughout the cast of this whole show from start to finish. That said, it was very natural and was very fitting for the environment that they're in. You know, they're in this kind of like Caribbean type setting with pirates, all sorts of that. And you got diversity, not just of race, like human races, but you have diversity of, you know, fish people and all this stuff. So there's just diversity abound in this show, and it completely fits with the type of show that it is. So there is no forced diversity in that regard. The characters do fit how they're supposed to look. And so for that, it's just, you know, I have to say that there is just no real forced diversity in this show. I do believe, however, that a couple characters, if I'm not mistaken, were race swapped. I'm not sure, like I did look at them at the time, but they are clearly a different race that's playing them, but it didn't change the story in any way. It doesn't like reshape their character or anything like that. And the race swap doesn't affect anything in terms of it. No, it's not a contradiction. So it can still make sense having them swapped. And so I don't really have any issues with that, but I guess I have to give a kind of a score for the fact that they did a race swap at all, because to me, it is a form of pandering, whether it's big or small. And so I have to give a 1 out of 10 for racial diversity. Number 2 is LGBTQ representation. So there is no representation in the show whatsoever regarding LGBTQ people. That said, the character Kobe is played, I believe, by a trans male, so was a female and has transitioned to male in real life, but in the show Kobe is a male. And the importance of that, why I want to bring that up, is because you could easily do something woke with that, if you will, but instead they just, you know, they casted this person to play the role, and they played it well, and they played it as a male, and it had their personal being a trans person had no bearing whatsoever on their performance or their character, and it was a great performance as Kobe. So there was no impact, even when there could have very well easily been one. And so I have to give a 0 out of 10 for LGBTQ representation. Number 3 is toxic masculinity / feminist messaging. So there is a little bit in the show of this sort of stuff. And what I mean by that is that the male characters, you know, there's all the bad characters are male, put it that way. A lot of good male characters too. But then at the same time, the female ones are usually more virtuous on average. You know, I look at the main crew, for example, you got Luffy, you got Sanji, you got Usopp, you got Zoro, and then you have Nami, the only girl. From that whole crew, Nami is by far the most serious and the most like competent on average in terms of being just like a badass who's able to get out of any situation. The men are usually kind of, they're good at what they do too, don't get me wrong, but they are usually first the ones to kind of act up a bit and be a bit stupid or muck around, whatever you want to call it. So look, it's a little bit there, but maybe that is faithful to the source material. I haven't read it, so I have no idea, but look, I'm just going to call it as what it is. I think it is a little bit of this modern day ideology playing into it. It is only a tiny bit. It's nothing to worry about, no concern, but it is there. And so I'm going to give a 1 out of 10 for toxic masculinity / feminist messaging. Number 4 is traditions bad, progressivism good. There is no reference to any of this whatsoever. On the other hand, though, I would actually even say that Luffy is the main character. He loves the idea of pirates. So, you know, kind of referencing the tradition of being a pirate. He loves the idea of being a pirate, but he also he wants to be a good pirate. Like, he doesn't understand why the idea of being a pirate means you have to be a bad person. And so it's this respect for the tradition, but also just wanting to make it even better. And so for this, I have to give a 0 out of 10 for traditions bad, progressivism good. Last but not least is anti-capitalism / pro-socialism. Quick answer, nothing. So straight up 0 out of 10. And so you take the totals of these 5 criteria and you're equal 2. You take that 2, you divide it by the 5 criteria, and that equals 0.4, which is firmly not woke. This is honestly a great result and a breath of fresh air, you know, in this current climate where you just don't know what's going to be working, what isn't these days. But look, I had no knowledge of One Piece going into it whatsoever. I knew nothing about it, so I had no idea what to expect, but I'm very happy and I was pleasantly surprised to see that there was just like almost no wokeness in it whatsoever. So it is completely safe for your viewing. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Post all your comments in the comments section below. I'd love to hear them all. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you're enjoying my content, please give it a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. So anyways, we'll see you next time. Bye.